Good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Great you're joining us today in this all digital setting here. Let's get started. Our first guest calls himself a transformation strategist. He is a digital pioneer and author. He's passionate about change and how digital is impacting everything around us, how digitalization changes business models and impacts societies as a whole. So please welcome Jo Coudron.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. So, the story I'm going to tell you today is a story of two worlds colliding. It's a story that I describe in my latest book, The World is Round, but that I enhanced based on 8 months of insights of what the corona crisis is meaning on some of the concepts and ideas that I describe in the book. So the book predicts and projects a world in about a decade from now. A decade that gives us time to adapt to changes, digital changes, which is the one world, but also changes in society, which is the other world that I describe in the book. But the reality is that because of the corona crisis, many of these patterns were forced on a lot of people in not a decade, but in merely a week or so, with the first lockdown. So this is the story I'm going to talk about, briefly, based on this image of this mountain. Now, this mountain, for me, very much depicts the recent history of our civilization, of our Western society, of our economy. Now, the image of the mountain is something that I got years ago from an Eastern saying that goes something like this. If you go up a mountain, walking, you keep on walking, eventually you will go back down again. But if you really, really want to keep on going, you have to learn how to fly. Now, this is for me a very strong image of where we are as a civilization and where a lot of the current pessimism in the world is, where it is coming from. We have 75 years of evolution, 75 years of emancipation, 75 years after the Second World War in which we got chances, men and women. We got access to education, we got access to proper jobs, mobility, and so on and so on. But for the last 2 decades or so, we have this general feeling that we are on this plateau, we are on the top of the mountain. A lot of people think that if we keep on going like this, eventually we will go back down again. Now, this is a concern of the past, but also concerns of the future, what I describe in my book as the metastorm. This is the coinciding of a couple of perfect storms, things that are bound to change in the near future, let's say in the next decade. How we work, what work is, but also where work happens, where everything happens, where our life plays, work-life combinations, where we shop, and so on and so on. And the third perfect storm of change is everything that has to do with mobility. Now, in the book, I describe how these slowly interact, and in a decade from now, could create massive change in how our economy functions, how our personal lives function, and so on. And of course, these are not the only changes and concerns for the future. We have climate change, we have super diversity, we have so many other things that we have to learn how to manage. But as I said, reasons enough for a lot of people to feel a bit in doubt, to feel a bit pessimistic. Now, in the book, what I try to describe is an optimistic future. It's a future that we can believe in, with the same components, with the same pieces of the puzzle. But this time, all of the challenges in work, with AI, with flex work, all of the challenges in living, with maybe regrouping how we live, all of the challenges in mobility, if we take all of these pieces of the puzzle, can we create an optimistic worldview? That's what I describe in the book. And in that worldview, I tackle the future of work and economy and healthcare and education. And as I said in the introduction, this, in my vision, is bound to happen in 10 years. But because of the corona crisis, many of these changes happen today. Now, the question is, how durable is this? How sustainable will this be? How much of this will last forever? And the thing is, the reality, we don't know. And that's why I have this image of this corona pendulum, where it says that on the one side, we come from a world that we know so well, a world with normal distance, where we shake hands and hug people, a world where we go out to do things, we go to the office for our work, and we go to shops to buy things, and we go to a school for education, where the normal economy just functions perfectly, we have an income and we pay taxes. And then suddenly, with this corona crisis, from one moment to the other, what we had was this corona reality, with social distancing and doing everything from home, education, getting medical consult, buying, everything. But also the economy coming to a standstill. The economy being put in the freezer with taxes delayed and loans delayed and people on temporary unemployment. The global supply chain, this globalization that worked perfectly in the old model, coming to a standstill or at least slowing down in this new current situation. And the question is, where do we go to? What will be the future? And we don't know that. But one driver that can predict how much this pendulum can swing back is timing. Imagine the first lockdown would only have taken a couple of weeks or maybe a couple of months, and we would currently be out of the corona crisis. Probably all of us we would want to go back to the old normal. But as this crisis lasts longer and longer, we adopt new patterns of work from home, or at least not work in the head office, of shop from home. Many people do it for the first time because of the corona crisis, but they embrace the benefits and they will keep on doing this. So depending on how long this crisis will last, more of the current patterns will become the patterns of tomorrow, will become this new, the world after corona normal. The post-corona world. We don't know what it looks like, but we can start or we can try to imagine some of the components. Now, what could that future be? In the book, I have this crystal ball. It's not really a crystal ball, but what I try to do is I try to look in the future, and there are two elements that I describe in the book already that I believe will be key in trying to understand what the world in the next couple of years could look like, a world beyond corona. There are two things that I want to highlight in this presentation. The first one is the concept of the so-called urban village, which is actually a concept of a new way of organizing ourselves in how we live. The urban village as a concept of circular living. And what do I mean by that? We have created a world in the last 75 years where we have created this kind of a linear concept. We don't work where we live. We don't shop where we live. We don't go out where we live. We take the best places. So we work somewhere else and we take a car, and we shop somewhere else and we take our car. And this was a normal and actually an optimal model after the Second World War. But we feel that there's pressure on this model now. Many people think about trying to regroup functions, and this is the core idea of the urban village idea and circular living, is that we don't have to all go back and live in a small village like we used to do hundreds of years ago and even up till the Second World War. No, this is a functional concept. We can organize ourselves so that living and working do not necessarily have to be separated all of the time. We can do this because we work from home or we work nearby, and we can do this because we have the technology for that. So it's not a matter of going back in the past, it's a matter of going back to the future with these new concepts. Now, this might seem like theory, but what we see both in cities and in villages is that it is really happening. So like this image is an image from a site, a new site in Antwerp. And we see similar new sites being constructed all around the world, everywhere in Belgium, in every European city. We see new neighborhoods being developed as a mix of living functions, shopping functions, actually everything that people do in their daily lives, but locally organized. So they don't have to move for every function, but they can move if they still want to move. So modern living is not being forced to use a car every time, but being able to use it when you want it and being able to have many functions available without being forced to use that car. So this is now recently, but what we see is that we see this everywhere with new patterns. We see in Paris the concept of the 15-minute city that got the mayor re-elected. This baseline of every Parisian should have every function available in a 15 minutes commute at the most. And what we see there is that once this happens, what we get is maybe the return of farming. Again, in this image, we get the biggest urban farm in the world is based currently in Paris. It is in Paris, providing food for people in Paris. We could get the return of manufacturing with 3D printing, with micro factories, all of that technology that maybe currently cannot compete with low-cost faraway production in a globalized model. But if we start taking account sustainability and so on, these models very much become viable models. So one of the key things also in the book that I describe as a result of this urban village circular living is that mobility in the essence could change. And again, all of these trends were already happening, but we see that they are getting accelerated by the corona situation. People actually thinking about, do I need this second car? Do I even need a car? Can't I organize my life with new micro-mobility models? Maybe provided by new suppliers, by platform operators that give me electric scooters and shared cars and so on and so on. Things already happening, but now accelerating because of this corona crisis. Now, the last part of this presentation, it's about the economy. Remember my mountain. Going up the mountain would mean eventually going back down again unless we find this way of finding a new way of proceeding, learning how to fly, as I said in the beginning. The problem is that if we just apply this to the economy, well, this curve of growth also follows the curve of what we have done with the planet, climate change. So many people ask me, shouldn't we just stay on top of that mountain instead of trying to find a new way to keep on growing? Now, one of the things that we start to see is that a new economical model is becoming the norm. We haven't seen it yet. Most people are not aware of the fact that the key players in the economy, the biggest ones, digital players mainly today, well, they don't want to sell stuff anymore. In a traditional economical model, like in this slide, if you want to create growth of value for your shareholders, and you make stuff like cars or anything else, the key way to do this is make more cars, sell more cars. So that's the basic idea of the traditional stuff economy. More stuff means more revenue, means more value. The thing is, the question is, does it have to be like that? Imagine we don't sell products anymore, but we get an economy where we have solutions, where we have services, where platform operators provide us a car when we need it. From that moment on, instead of us all having individual cars, we don't buy the car anymore, we use the car. An example that everyone will understand, if you have a decoder at home for digital television and internet, for instance, this is not a device you actively buy as a consumer product. It's something that is provided by your operator, by your supplier, by your provider. What you actually pay for is the subscription on top. That maybe starts with a low fee, and if you add movies and other things on top of that, it becomes a high fee. But the product, the stuff in itself, doesn't have to scale. Now, 3 examples to show how this could be applied. So you could have ownership of a car. This is your car, you can buy it. And in that model, a car brand has every incentive to produce more cars, sell more cars, to get more revenue and more profit. But imagine from the moment that we start using these cars in any form of platform, maybe I have a subscription to a car, maybe it's just a pay-per-use like Uber or like Cambio or something like that. From that moment on, if this platform is in the hands of the car brand, they have no more incentive to make more cars and sell more cars. They have incentive to have cars that last for 25 years, for 2 million kilometers, and actually that you use more. So every week, every month you use the same car, they will get more value. So we don't have to stop growing economically. We can do it in a solution model, in this peak stuff economy, by using the stuff that is already there. Second example here is IKEA. IKEA actually is trying to rent out furniture in over 30 cities around the world. Now, I don't know if you ever tried to assemble something like a Billy and disassemble it and assemble it again. Well, then it vaporizes if you try to do the 3rd time, for instance. So it's not made for sustainability. It's made to put there once and keep it there. So if they want to make this promise a reality, that you can actually rent furniture, they have to make furniture like in the age of my grandparents, durable furniture that can last for decades. So they can keep on exploiting it, putting it into the platform. And maybe the last example, just to show how things can really go far, is our weekly grocery shopping. So we go to a shop, we go to the supermarket, and everything there shouts to us, buy more. 2 plus 1 for free. We have big bags of vegetables and let's say potatoes, 5 kilos of potatoes. So this is also a stuff economy. Retailers wanting us to buy more stuff in order to get their top line and to get their margin. But from the moment that we start using food solutions like a food box, a weekly food box with ingredients and a recipe, again, this paradigm shift is complete. There's no 5 kilos of potatoes in this HelloFresh box, for instance. There's maybe like 5 potatoes because that's the amount we need for the recipe. So there's no food waste. There's no incentive to put more product in it. There's only an incentive to keep us loyal to the subscription model that promises us a fresh meal 4 or 5 nights a week for our family at a fixed price. So sometimes it's vegetarian, it's only vegetables, so that's low cost for them. Sometimes it's with expensive fish, that's a higher cost. But as a consumer, we don't buy the product anymore, we buy the solution. So to end this story, where are we? We don't know. What will the future bring? We don't know, but we know some of the components that probably will get accelerated by this corona crisis. Thank you so much for your attention. Enjoy this session.
As everyone needs to adapt to this digital world, that's where Proximus comes in, guiding companies on their path to digital transformation, supporting them in their journey to a fully connected world. And by doing so, Proximus has a reason to celebrate. Welcome, Alex. So Proximus already connected more than 2 million devices to date. 2 million? Tell us all about it.
Thank you, Hannah. Yes, indeed. During the summer, we exceeded the amazing figure of more than 2 million IoT SIM cards connected on our network. This means that today, IoT SIM cards represent already more than 30% of the total Proximus Group SIM cards, and it's just the beginning. It's a big symbolic milestone for us as it demonstrates our dedication to become the trusted digital partner for our customer and our ambition to help in Belgium digitalization. Last year, at ThinkThings event in Brussels, we showed you how we were able to deliver capabilities to support you with an end-to-end approach for IoT and data analytics, starting from the project blueprint up to the integration of the final solution in your tools and systems. During this year, we work further on these capabilities. First, we upgraded our networks on the road to become the first gigabit-enabled mobile network. We were the first operator to launch 5G in Belgium, but it's not only about 5G. We also reinforced our NB-IoT network, which has now a national coverage, and we also opened up a new IoT network technology that we call LTE-M. We created a stronger ecosystem, and we broadened our value proposal for digitalization, adding consulting capabilities. Last but not least, we also reinforced our turnkey solutions to support you, dear customers, in accelerating your digital transformation within the COVID crisis. In the course of this event, we will demonstrate all these new progress to you, and I hope you will be convinced by their value. 2020 has been really a very special year, with a sanitary and societal situation that no one could have predicted. This has massively impacted our way of behaving, socializing, but also our way of working. And during the first lockdown wave, we have seen a massive increase of new ways of digital working. We are now at the heart of a second wave, and this second wave will just push us further in the sustainable digitalization of the way we work and do business. And this year, the new format of ThinkThings is the best proof that we can adapt to the new situation. We turned the challenge of not being able to welcome you in a big room into an opportunity. So this year, we offer you a digital content with more than 20 speakers. The morning session will still be about customer testimonials, customer use cases. During the afternoon, you will have the opportunity to deep dive on specific topics via breakout session with partners, but also Proximus experts. How to remain relevant in the new normal. 2020 brought some level of chaos and disrupted our work model. How do you work without any physical interactions with customers and colleagues? How do you deal with activities that depend on physical interaction? How do you move from a personal, close, face-to-face collaboration model towards a digital, remote, output-centric model? The shift is a threat for everybody, but it's also an opportunity for the agile companies that are really successful in quickly shifting gears and adopting the new normal. What has changed during the last months regarding business digitalization? During the lockdown, companies have digitized much more activities than they ever thought. And they did it at a speed that they would never have imagined. To name only a few of the changes that happened over the last months, we saw a massive shift from company-centric connectivity to distributed employee-centric connectivity, from physical meeting rooms to massive adoption of video conferencing. We also saw a lot of implementation of remote buy and sell process becoming the standard. We saw a lot of automation of process and increased cloud adoption. Security has become even more critical. So this is a massive challenge for many of companies. We at Proximus feel like we have a mission as a digital partner, and it was our duty to make it happen during these very special months. So in terms of operations, our first critical task was to make sure that everybody would enjoy the best connectivity to remotely be able to work from home. So we increased the capacity of our networks, and we closely and proactively monitor the network's load. We had no incident nor congestion, and we are very happy and proud to say that we fulfilled our mission in this regard. In parallel, we accelerated the pace of building of the networks of tomorrow. For fiber, we accelerated. So now our new ambition is to connect 4.2 million households by 2028. We also accelerated on 5G rollout, not waiting for the cumbersome spectrum allocation process to come in 2021. We pre-launched a version of 5G using our available existing spectrum. During the crisis, we also engaged to support our customers. First, we supported our government by joining the task force Data Against Corona. The purpose was there to provide mobile data to help monitoring how the virus was spreading across Belgium population. We also supported the health sector with free video consultations for doctors. We opened up our public Wi-Fi networks for hospitals, students, but also FedAsil. We provided free devices for rest homes to allow video conversation between families and residents. Also, we equipped hospitals and youth. We supported also digital transformation of the B2B sector using our full ecosystem of ICT partners. And I refer here to the collaborative solution, the new communication tools, the cloud, and the security solutions. And last but not least, we also offered free fixed and mobile traffic to companies during the first lockdown. So as you see, what we did for supporting customers in digitalization during the COVID period goes much beyond IoT and analytics. Now, specifically looking at data analytics, we launched several packages that provide discounted prices so that companies could monitor the lockdown impact, but also adapt to the reboot of the economy after the first wave. We supported cities, governments, security forces to monitor flows of people. And during this event, you will see and discover how we supported, for instance, Westour at the Belgian coast during the summer. In the IoT domain now, we launched several new solutions. One of them is the possibility to monitor the proximity of employees thanks to a wearable. Another one is about the monitoring of the ventilation of a building with CO2 level monitoring, occupancy tracking, room and desk reservation. And during the event, you will also discover other solution and inspiring use case. For instance, you will see how Decathlon is controlling the access to his stores and is able to monitor the people flow that goes in and out of the stores. Looking at the future now, it is really our ambition and commitment to work further on the following pillars of development. First, we will continue investing heavily in people to make sure that we deliver the most professional services to you, our customers. We will also further develop capabilities to strengthen current services, but also offer new type of services. And I will have the opportunity to come back on this aspect during my intervention this afternoon. We will also keep a strong focus on new technologies and innovation with the spirit of using these technologies to the benefit of the customers, starting from customer needs and customer use case. We will reinforce our partnerships with leading Belgian companies, and we'll hope so to bring a strong expertise in new domains, relying on business complementarity rather than competition. We will also continue developing and supporting our ecosystem of solution providers, as this is the best way to develop and offer customer-centric solutions. It is also our ambition to further invest in specific verticals, and I will come back on this during the afternoon. All this with one goal: becoming more than ever your trusted partner in digitalization and contribute positively to the Belgian economy. And now, what's on the agenda of this morning? We will start with the Belgian Railway Company, and in this use case, you will see the extreme power of combining various data analytics technologies. We will then continue with Westour, and there you will discover how is it possible to easily and swiftly roll out mobile data analytics to get valuable insights. Then Decathlon will explain you how it is possible to easily monitor the indoor customer flow into shops in order to offer a safe, healthy, and better customer experience. VRT will then be on stage to explain all the benefits they will get from 5G. After that, with Flanders Make, you will discover how digitalization can help to improve efficiency and competitiveness in industry. And to close the morning session, BBAT and Unitron will explain you how they use IoT to create a more sustainable world. So, I wish you a very pleasant and fruitful morning session. Talk to you later. And I now give the word to Stéphane Koster from Belgian Railways.
Thanks for the introduction. I'm going to talk about a project where we have proved that data can help us manage the mobility of the future. My name is Stéphane Koster, and I am responsible for the digital team at SNCB. And I would say that I am also the co-founder, the proud co-founder of the SNCB Innovation Lab. I think that our company does not need a lot of introduction, as I might think that many of you are a customer of our company and have used one of our services. Maybe you are one of the almost 1 million people, and pre-COVID times, of course, we are transporting on a daily, weekly basis, on a daily basis in the week. Maybe you are using one of our more than 3,000 trains a day, or maybe in the last few weeks, you have parked your bike in one of the more than 100,000 bike parking spots at SNCB. And the bike is a good example of the changing environment of mobility today. And that's maybe also one of the main reasons why we have created the SNCB Innovation Lab, the SNCB Innovation Program even. What are the 3 missions of our program? And you can see it here on the slide. First of all, we want to have one innovation language. We want to discuss with our employees how we manage an innovation program and an innovation project like the one I'm going to talk about today. Secondly, we do not want to be the one and only shiny innovation team. We want to do it together with the many colleagues. We're more than 17,000 people in the company. So we want to spread the culture of innovation. And I would say, in terms of this, it's maybe difficult to use the word, but spread it like a positive virus throughout the company. And last, and certainly not least, the most important mission is that we want to solve customer needs. And the project today is a good example of a transversal project we have led within the innovation team, which has helped us gain insights on different data models and help us build the mobility of the future. There's 4 main achievements or 4 main initiatives we have taken to achieve these big goals of the Innovation Lab. First of all, there's the lab. It's a small, dedicated, highly skilled team of project managers being able to manage a product like the one we're going to talk about today. As I said before, we do not want to do it alone. We want to do it with a community of people. And the third one, and very important, and that's maybe why we're here today, we do not want to do it alone. We want to do it with partners. Proximus made us a very good proposal for the project, and we wanted to work with Proximus on this project. And a premiere for next year, we also want to launch an accelerator program where we want to kickstart innovative ideas within the company and bring them to the next level. So over to the project. The project we are going to talk about today is passenger counting. And as a wise man said once, you have to start with the why. So why do we need data? First of all, and let me give you a little secret, only 22% of our sales today is digital. And digital, I mean through the application, the mobile application, or the website. A lot of sales today at SNCB is anonymous. We do not know our customer well enough. So data can help us to get better information, to improve the customer experience, and to communicate on a more personalized way to our customers. Of course, it can also help a lot different stakeholders by giving more information about the customers. We can manage our business better. We can have a better transport plan. We can work on predictive maintenance. We can have a better revenue management. So the data is very crucial. Now, how are we going to do that? We've talked about the why. How are we going to do that? Well, we need digital. We need digital data. Why digital? Because today we work a lot on a manual basis. A lot of countings, both in the stations and in the trains, are done on a manual basis. And I think that digital information and the technology that exists today can bring a lot of added value, more added value than we have today, because we want to know more about the customer. We do not only want to know how many people are on the station, but we also want to know the flow. How are they moving throughout the station? And maybe also in the train, who is on the train? Not only how many people are on the train, but who is on the train, which origin, which destination, and where do they come from? And we believe very strongly that digital information, that technology that exists today, can help us achieve these very important goals for us today. As you know, SNCB is quite a complex company. We have many stakeholders. That means that the information we need will serve many different purposes. We have the people from stations who want to know how many people are coming into stations, how many people are visiting the shops, and which kind of flow are they using to get to the tracks or to get in and out the station. We have Publifair, the advertising company, who do not only want to know how many people are in the station, but how many people have seen the advertisement in the station. Of course, we have marketing and sales, who wants to know who's in the train, which kind of subscription do they have, and so on and so on. And you have the management, strategy department, transport department, who really want to know trends, who want to know how is the situation evolving. Certainly in the terms of crisis we have today, these kind of data have been proven very, very valuable for our company. So what did we do? Let me guide you to a few project highlights that we have achieved the last few months and the last year together with the partner Proximus and their partners. So first of all, we wanted to count in stations. We wanted to count in 2 stations, and this is a proof of concept. We want to test a few technologies, and we certainly want to test if the technology can bring what we are expecting it should do. So first of all, we tested in 2 stations. We also wanted to count in trains, so in a train itself. And a third one, we also wanted to count on what we call a relation, so between Brussels and Antwerp, between Liège and Charleroi, on different trajectories. We wanted to know how many people are getting on the train and how many people are getting off the train. And I would say, last but not least, we want to have this data available by preference on a daily basis or even in real time, and we want to have it visualized in a clear dashboard that is available for the different stakeholders. So let me guide you a little bit through the project. So as I said, we have tested it in 2 stations. You can see the beautiful station of Schaarbeek, and then the more complex station, one of the biggest stations in Belgium, with an average of 150,000 visits pre-corona per day, the station of Brussels South. Those 2 stations were fully equipped with different technology. We used more than 4 different kind of technologies. Thanks to the cooperation with Proximus and B-Mobile, we were able to test and starting from the use case, decide for which technology we wanted to go. And we used 4 technologies. First of all, we used smart sensors or cameras and IoT devices, and those were mainly used to have very precise information on a very specific location. We had also had Wi-Fi, the third technology, which is more convenient for high-level figures on how many visitors we have in different zones. And we also used the Proximus mobile data, mobile analytics, information from the network, more for the profiling of the customers. We had more than 140 devices installed in Brussels South and Schaarbeek, and we had very good results with them. More than 90% accuracy. We did live testing, we did live countings to see on different spots what was the accuracy, and we were very happy with the results, more than 90% accuracy. And we had a dashboard for the last year, we had a dashboard available 24/7, and again, certainly in this period of crisis, this information has been proven very, very valuable. And let me guide you to some visuals of the dashboard we are using. The first one you can see here is based on mobile data. It's where we can see where the visitors are coming from. This was information we did not have before. So you can see here that maybe a quarter of the visitors of Brussels South is coming from another country. Brussels South, as you know, is also a hub for TGV, Thalys, and so on. So a lot of visitors coming from outside the country. 50% approximately comes from Flanders and Wallonia, and 1/4 of the people also comes from Brussels itself. So very valuable information. And the second slide you will see here gives you the impact, and you can all guess what happened in March. We had the lockdown, so this information again proved very, very valuable for us, for the management, for top management, to follow up on the crisis and to see what was the evolution of number of visitors, number of travelers in the trains and in the stations. So you can see the impact of the first lockdown, and you can see the impact of the second lockdown end of October, November. So again, very important information. And we saw that traffic in Brussels South dropped down to 10% during the first lockdown, and now up to 20-30% second lockdown. We can also see the flow. So the station was divided in different zones. From one zone to another, we had information how people are traveling throughout the station, where they come into the station, where they go out, and how long they are staying. We can see the dwelling time, so we can see for each location, for each zone, where do they enter, where do they go out, and how long are they staying. Again, very valuable information for the people of stations, for the people managing the concessions, the shops in the stations, security-wise, very valuable information. So we had some feedback about the different stakeholders. The people of stations were very happy with the information. The people of strategy used the dashboard, I think almost on a daily basis, to manage the crisis we are having today. So again, this was important information for us, important data, which can help us manage our business better, not only on a commercial way, but as I said before, also towards the customer, people knowing, for instance, we have the application of Move Safe, where we also want to give the information back to the customer, to the traveler. We want to inform them how many people are going to be on the next train. We want to inform them how many people are going to be in the station. And in these kind of times we are living today, this kind of information is very important, not only for SNCB itself, but of course for the customers. And also for the transport department. These kind of information can help us manage the transport plan. The planning of the rolling stock can be managed throughout information like that. So how many trains should we put into the program to go to the coast? How many trains should we put to go to Brussels? So it can really help us manage our business better. We have mainly discussed today about the first project, counting and passengers in the stations. As I said before, there's also counting in the trains and counting on relations. These projects are still going on. We have promising results. We are not there yet, like installing material or technology in a train seems to be quite difficult. So that's maybe something to think about. How can we do this better, and how can technology help us to achieve these goals? So I would say this is not the end. This is certainly not the end of the project. It has proven on a very quickly way, it has proven its added value, and it was the first project of the Innovation Lab, and we already had, I think this project helped us to go to the top management and to free up more budget for a project like that. So it showed really value. And I would say next step, let's co-create. Let's work together with you. We are working with your teams on the next level for counting on relations, because we strongly believe that mobile technology or other technologies can certainly help with that. Voilà, I would thank you very much. I would like to thank you very much for listening and have a great day in this ThinkThings environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stefan. Amazing how IoT and data analytics help you to gain insights about travelers and passenger flows in stations, trains, and trajectories. We can imagine this brings added value to make certain policy decisions. For example, during the peak period in summer when many people travel to the coast. Wondering if data solutions to gather visitor insights are used in this region. Today, we have Darlene van Dalen here with us, Team Manager Knowledge Center of Westo. Very welcome, Darlene. First of all, do you use big data to monitor tourism at the Belgian coast?
Yes, we indeed used similar techniques and visitor analytics, focusing on real-time crowd management.
Okay, I think that everybody is very curious now on how you did that. So I leave the floor to you, Darlene.
Thank you. Before I explain to you how we monitored tourism at the Belgian coast this summer, I would first like to explain a little bit more on Westour. Westour is the provincial agency for tourism and recreation in West Flanders. As such, we are situated between the Flemish government and the local authorities. Our main goal is to support tourism in West Flanders. We want to develop sustainable and qualitative tourism. Therefore, we cooperate with different actors, especially with the public and the private sector. Next to the art city of Bruges, we distinguish 4 touristic regions in our province, of which the Belgian coast is the most important one because it has the largest volume of tourist activity. As such, taking into account the measures to control the spread of COVID-19, we faced a big challenge. In 2019, we counted 600,000 people present on the busiest day at the coast. In addition to the 220,000 inhabitants, we also had 206,000 day visitors and 72,000 overnight tourists in commercial accommodation and another 94,000 overnight tourists in second residences in one day. However, if we take into account all the beds available for tourists at the coast, the challenge becomes bigger because it was expected that a lot of Belgians would spend their vacation in their own country, and we could thus expect more people to be present at the coast this summer. In fact, we estimated that about 720,000 people could be present at the coast. Especially the overnight tourists could increase. More specifically, the overnight tourists in the second residences, as people were more reluctant to travel abroad. We had a big question how we could welcome the optimal number of visitors in a safe environment at the Belgian coast during summer. Here there are two keywords. On the one hand, we have welcome. We would like that the people feel welcome when they come to our coast. And we also have safety. It's important to emphasize safety and complying with the measures. To answer that question, we chose the strategy to spread tourist activity in time and in space. In time, because a lot of people prefer coming to the coast on a Saturday, on a Sunday in the afternoon. And in our communication, we emphasized that there is a lot of fun happening at the coast in the morning or on weekdays. And also spreading tourist activity in space. Therefore, we needed a tool that indicated that next to the popular beaches at our Belgian coast, there are a lot of other quiet locations worth a visit. For that tool, it was important to have one tool for the entire coastline, because one tool means one measurement level, one level that defines when a location is overcrowded. And when we have one tool, we also have one communication about the entire coastline. So that was very important. But we needed a higher level of detail than just the coastal municipalities. We needed a lower level. So we had contact with Proximus, and we developed in co-creation with Westour, the coastal municipalities, and Proximus, a barometer. The barometer was based on mobile phone data and on the algorithms of Proximus to make a real-time estimation of the people present. Together with the 10 coastal municipalities, we defined 61 zones along the entire coastline, of which we wanted to know the level of activity. And Westour defined the 4 levels of activity. We had quiet, normal, busy, and extremely busy. These were the levels that the Knowledge Center defined. However, when we took this back to our marketing department, they told us, yeah, normal, we think it's better to call it pleasant. Finally, before we launched the tool, we tested the tool in the field. The local municipalities and a group of colleagues of Westour went to the coast to see with their own eyes if the level of activity in the zone matches the color indicated by the barometer. An important element in this barometer are the levels of activity. We used a number of indicators to define these. First of all, we have the number of inhabitants in the zone. How many people live there? Then we have the number of beds available for the tourists. We have the beds in the tourist accommodation and the beds in the second residences. Of course, the surface of the area is taken into account, and more specifically, the space that could be used by tourists. And for those zones along the beach, We also incorporated the surface of the beach. In the development of the tool, we have two types of dashboards. We have the public dashboard and the dashboard for management. In the public dashboard, you can see the 61 zones and their colors. This dashboard was updated every 15 minutes. The dashboard for management was password protected, so you needed to log in, but we had a dashboard for each municipality. So each municipality could monitor the level of tourist activity in the zones of their community. And an important feature of this dashboard for management was the possibility to export the data for further analysis. The tool was developed by Proximus and Comel.io. The tool was used for the organization in the field and for the communication to the general public. When we look at the organization in the field, of course, the dashboard was used for continuous monitoring, but it was also used in a proactive and a reactive way. In the proactive way, we looked at the evolution of people present in each zone, and we could evaluate if additional safety measures should be taken or if additional police assistance was needed. In the reactive way, the data of the tool was used as input for crisis meetings, and we also used it to evaluate certain events. For example, there is a weekly market in the Panne on Saturday. In the beginning of July, we could see that in that zone, it was very, very busy. So the mayor of the Panne decided to reorganize the market and to make it a safer experience for its visitors. We also used the tool to communicate to the general public. So we integrated the tool in our website, thekust.be, in the 4 languages, and it was also incorporated in the website of 7 coastal municipalities. It was also integrated in the websites of certain news channels and of the railway organization. Moreover, the tool itself generated a lot of media attention, especially in newspapers, the radio, the television, and we could use the tool in our own social media. It was also interesting that we could use the signs above the highway to indicate car drivers what was the level of activity at the coast. So to conclude, I would like to give you some facts and figures. During summer, during July and August, we had 11 zones of the 61 that turned orange and thus extremely busy. This already indicates the fact that the high level of tourist activity is concentrated in a limited number of locations. We also had the level of extremely busy in 3 weekends. So in the other weekends, it was quiet or pleasant at the coast. And research indicated that half of the Belgians know the tool. Even 7 out of 10 of the people in Flanders know the tool. In total, we had 1.9 million views of the barometer during summer, and we had one day with a peak in website visitors of 105,000 views. On other busy days, we had about 70 or 80,000 views on the barometer. And after summer, we asked ourselves the question, what brings the future? In the current circumstances, we want to keep spreading tourist activity in time and in space. Moreover, the tool was highly appreciated by local authorities and the public. When we look further in the future, we see that the barometer is even interesting in a post-COVID-19 era, because some people look for locations that are quiet, while other people look for locations where it's pleasant or busy. So this can also be answered by the tool. However, we see that there is still a challenge because people and management expect more. They want to know how many time people are present in a zone. They want to see the flows between the zones, and they want to have more information, for example, on the background of the visitors. So this means that we have a big challenge to face in the next weeks and months. Thank you for listening, and we hope that big data will be the solutions for our future challenges.
Thanks, Darlene, for your inspiring story. And nice to hear that data analytics can, in some way, contribute to the challenges we face during these exceptional times. Let's take a closer look to another similar challenge in a completely different sector like retail. Shops that are open may only allow a limited number of people at once. Decathlon was a front runner in implementing the IoT solution that counts people going in and going out of a store called entrance monitoring. So now let me introduce you to Olivier Flamand, Data and CRM Manager at Decathlon, who can tell all about the innovative project they implemented the past month. So, Olivier, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Olivier Flamand. I am Data and CRM Manager at Decathlon Belgium. Today, I will shortly present you how Decathlon addressed the new challenges in this disruptive time of COVID-19. I am working on it. My job consists to coordinate the strategy of both departments, data and CRM. I recruit and manage the internal experts, but I select and choose also the agencies and the tools we work with. Decathlon aims to personalize the customer and user experience by having a data-driven approach. My mission is to reach this goal. Decathlon is an amazing story. It's a success story. It's not only a store, it's an innovative brand with a purpose, which is be useful to people and to the planet. More than ever, this purpose makes sense today. Decathlon, we have 96,000 employees, teammates working in 51 countries. We count 1,500 stores. We have also 275 million sport users. In Belgium, we count 2,500 people, 37 stores, an e-commerce website, and a warehouse. But what makes this story a success story? We knew strong growth during the last decades. The key is in our sense, in our mission, make sustainably the pleasure and benefits of sports accessible to the many. The key elements of our success are the people and the passion. We try to connect both elements as much as possible. None of our team members are only shopkeepers. All of them are passionate about their sports. They are sporters. And their mission is to share their passion to our customers when they meet them offline and online. The second reason of our success is the decision to develop technical products at the lowest price. Without compromise on quality, on security, but always by controlling hand-to-hand all the steps, the design, the conception, the production, the storage, the distribution. So we have many opportunities to streamline and optimize the process. And handily, to make it happen, the innovation. We need innovation. Innovation in our equipments, innovation in our services, but also innovation how we sell our products. Every day we launch new products, but we are always looking to be more efficient. And so we need innovation for efficiency. Our philosophy, innovation, tomorrow starts today. And because tomorrow starts today, we develop a new concept store, the DX store. The digital is everywhere. In this project, we assess new technologies and we test new services our customers will find tomorrow in our stores. If you want to know more about this shop, I invite you to join the live session this afternoon. So with the COVID-19, we have to face new challenges and new opportunities. Among the challenges, you find the HR management. We have to adapt the HR costs. We have also to reconsider some expenses for change management, for expansion, for communication, for IT. We knew also during the first lockdown a break in the supply chain due to a production stop. We have to apply new regulation which are more restrictive. And handily, we can observe in our shops new customer behaviors, new customer expectations. But it's an opportunity because we have to transform our shops to answer these needs. There are also other opportunities than the transformation of our shops. You find the increase in online sales. Our e-commerce website is developing very fast and will soon become a marketplace. So we'll be able to offer a larger range of products and services online. There is also the connection between sport and health. More than ever, the well-being is important and a priority for companies and for consumers. Recently, we developed online programs, online sport and health programs to move better, to breathe better, to eat better. So we'll be able to tackle this problem and to answer these new needs. With the COVID-19, as I previously said, the number we have to control and monitor the number of customers and visitors in a store. And we have also to better understand their behavior, their journey in store. So we called on Proximus. They installed sensor in the store to count the people entering and going out, but also monitor their journey across the shelves and in the shopping area. They expose the results on a display, and following the number of visitors in the shop, the access is allowed, limited, or denied. The solution is composed by a totem with a screen to display the results and the communication. Two-way infrared sensors are positioned at the entrance and the exit of the shows. Wi-Fi sensors are covering the shelves to monitor the inflow. There is also the possibility to install camera for more accurate results. All the data collected are processed and exposed in a management web platform. It's important to tell that all the measures, all the decisions taken in this project respect privacy and are GDPR compliant. Proximus installed 25 stores in 2 weeks. The added value of this project is that it answers several questions from customers and several expectations for retailers. The questions from customers: am I allowed to enter or not? We defined the maximum visitors gauge. Is it the right moment to do shopping? The peak and off-peak moments are displayed on the totem, but also on the website of Decathlon. The system allows us to give also sanitary instructions to our customers and also to give information about the management of the waiting time. So this system gives extra experience and extra services to our customers. The added value for the retailers is also important. We just saw it. We are able to improve, optimize the customer experience because it provides us important insights about the customer behavior and the customer journey in our stores. The collected data are displayed in a web platform, which is helping us to monitor the inflow of customers and get statistics. So, in short term, the real-time data can help us to swiftly react by being alerted when there is a peak of customers' inflow. In longer term, these statistics can help us also to monitor the performance of the shop, to improve the productivity, to understand the shopping path, etc. At the end, it will also impact the HR management, the communication, the marketing strategy, the building of our shops. Now the relation with Proximus is going broader. Decathlon, as Proximus, are engaged for sustainability. We are opening our stores to Proximus initiative. Don't miss the call. The purpose of this initiative is to place containers to collect all smartphones and all tablets in order to recycle them. We are also looking with Proximus how we can support them to have a more sustainable mobility. We also start a project to replace the price tag in the shelves by electronic and connected shelves labeling. Thank you very much for your attention.
And thank you, Olivier. And it's so nice to hear that so much innovative projects are going on. Let's get back to business now. I'm here with two experts from VRT, Kevin Molenschot, Head of Technology Strategy, and Jonathan de Bolster, System Engineer. And we invited them to ask some questions about why infrastructure is so essential for the future, and also to demonstrate how 5G will be a game changer for the media industry. So welcome, Kevin, welcome, Jonathan. We know each other already, but maybe it's a good idea that you introduce yourself to our audience.
Perfect. Thank you, Hannah. So my name is Jonathan, and I have been working for VRT for almost 5 years now in the team of news gathering and transmission. And I'm the product owner of the mobile audio and video encoders that are used by the news department, but also by productions at events. And we are using a lot of 4G combined with other technologies and hopefully in the future 5G. So besides this, I also do the internet connectivity in the news fans to allow the news crews to be able to use it as a remote office extension as they were at VRT. Besides this, I'm looking towards new technologies because I told that I'm busy with 4G. I think 5G is the next step, and 5G will mean a big change for us, although in the beginning it will go hand in hand, but for us that is very important. So that is what I'm busy with.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. Kevin?
Hi, Hannah. I'm Kevin Molenschot. I'm Head of Technology Strategy and Enterprise Architecture at VRT. And in this role, I determine the strategic technology canvas together with my team. And it boils down to which technology that we choose to reach the VRT missions. And the VRT missions, they are to inspire people, to connect and to inform. And one of the goals to accomplish this is to bring productions in the here and now and between the people. So it means we need to have live content and local content. And this differentiates us with major international players, like, for example, Netflix, will bring mainly TV series and no local live content. But for the live local content, connectivity is very important. Connectivity is the key when you want to go live on antenna, anywhere, anytime, and much as possible. So we have already various of technologies for connectivity, such as dark fiber, microwave links, satellite connections, and 4G, like Jonathan said. But we are looking forward for 5G also because it can give us new things, new formats, and it will reduce the costs. So 5G is really on my radar.
Okay, thank you. Jonathan, in which situations is a fast and strong network connectivity of great importance?
Well, frankly speaking, I think almost and everywhere. So it is, of course, VRT wants to be able to go live anywhere at any time. But the fact is that we need to be realistic and we have to use the right devices, the right technologies in the right place. And we have two differentiations. We have the planned events. Those are things that we can anticipate on beforehand, what devices we are going to use, how many people are going to be there. We can plan. But then on the other side, there is the news gathering. So that is the news in Belgium, but also the news abroad, where we want to go live at specific moments that we do not know on beforehand. For example, when something happens, when there is a strike, when there is a terroristic attack, some interviews that have to be happening, we don't know those things on beforehand normally. So those are the two differentiations. And when we're talking about the events, we're talking about big music festivals, cycling races, and other kinds like that. And when we're talking about news, it's our news fans and unplanned things. Those two things.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. You have a very important job at VRT. Kevin, you talked already about 5G. What would be the bigger benefits of 5G versus 4G?
The first benefit is that we will do new things. We will be able to do new formats. We will be able to interact with our end customers, and it's because the delay on 5G will be very low. And the low delay, it gives also the possibility to do formats from several live locations. Because now with the technology that we use at the moment, it's very difficult to do crosstalks. I think you know it very well, Hannah. But with 5G, when the latency is low, you can do shows, games between several locations, and it's new kind of formats. A second benefit is that we will able to do more things, because when 5G will give us a reliable network with enough bandwidth and is not so expensive, we will do things that we are not able to do today because it's too expensive to do it, like small sports. And a third advantage for VRT will be that we can save cost on the already existing things. Two things top of mind is in a news gathering. Like Jonathan said, we already use 4G. But it's not a guaranteed network 4G. So when it needs to be reliable, we need to send a satellite fan, we need to rent a satellite connection. It's expensive, it's complex, and we are not flexible with it. So 5G need to have a solution for it. On the other hand, another thing is in the cycling races. They are very popular in Flanders. VRT is also very popular to bring them on TV, but they are very expensive. And it is one of the reasons is because we need to go there with a lot of trucks. More than 30 people work in the trucks, and then we connect all the local sources to the trucks. I think the cameras next to the track, motorbikes, helicopters, people in the trucks mixing the signal to one that we can then send to Brussels. And it's expensive because all the people are there, but can you imagine with 5G that we can support all the signals immediately from the track, the helicopter, the motorbikes to Brussels, and the people are working in the gallery in Brussels. So they don't need to move to the place, they can do more things. All the trucks can stay in Brussels, so we can save a lot of money with it. And on the other hand, when we do this, we can also do more things, new formats. I'm thinking of sensors and body cams on the cyclists. So it will be a lot of advantages with 5G.
Okay, lots of advantages. Do you want to add something, Jonathan?
Well, I think the most important thing indeed is to be able to do more for a better cost. And for VRT, those are the most important things. But when we are looking at the technical side of things, I think that 4G, we are doing a lot with 4G today, but 4G was not built to do those kind of things. And we are using tricks to fool the system to be able to have stable connections, meaning that we combine the several operators together. For example, we are using 8 SIM cards of different providers, and we combine those little, maybe not stable connections. We add them up so that we have something that is stable enough. And when we combine those things, we have, in fact, enough to do a live video stream, a live audio stream. And to put those things in perspective, for example, we did tests. We made radio from a hot air balloon. We did tests with a moving helicopter flying over 180 kilometers an hour. So those kind of things are the technical benefits of 5G. And I think there is 3 of them. There is the bandwidth that we want to enlarge. there is the latency, which is, in most cases, the latency of 4G is enough for what we're doing today. But in the future, for things that we are going to do, 5G, the latency will really be key for us. And then the third thing is the guaranteed access. Because right now we do not have priorities, we do not have anything, in fact. So there is no operator who can tell us, it will be able to work at that specific location. No. So we try to deduce statistically the chance of risk by combining different operators. And we are hoping that with 5G, especially with network slicing, which means that we will have a virtual piece of the network, we will rent it. We will have our own, in fact, just like we rent satellite capacity. We hope to do those things with 5G.
Okay, lots of benefits. And what's the strategic added value of network slicing?
The network slice will be very important because when you are going live on air, you don't want to have black on antenna. That's the first thing I think that's important. But the second thing is, as VRT, we have the major task to inform people always, also in crowded manifestations or in difficult situations, like, for example, a terrorist attack. So we want to have always connectivity. So we need to have a network slice where we have always connectivity, I mean always, and with desired bandwidth. But the question for VRT is, which slice can we get as broadcaster, because we are not a public service like a police, and what will be the cost, because we are not a 24/7 user, we are an occasional user. So we have also questions about it.
Okay, what are the other possibilities, Kevin, where 5G can be an added value next to broadcast productions?
Now we talked a lot of productions, but 5G can also an advantage in the distribution of the signals, how we connect with our end users. For the distribution, 5G multicast will be a big advantage. We can save costs, do new things, and with a lower delay, we can have more interactive than today things in our applications. So also big advantages.
Good. Jonathan, it's very clear that you are already taking innovative steps by exploring all those possibilities of 5G. Are there, next to 5G, other innovation projects related to IoT on the roadmap?
Yeah, as VRT, we try to be really in the market. So we try to anticipate on new technologies. We have also different departments within VRT who are focusing on new technologies, and 5G is only a small part of it. Since we are living in special times right now, it is a bit difficult for us to do things at events and to do things in public as we are used to do. But we are, of course, following up everything that has to do with IoT, but also with wireless technologies. And we think that those kind of things are the future. And as VRT is a public broadcaster, I think we need to do more than just inform the people. We need to interact with them. And if we can use technology for that, that would be a great benefit, I think.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan and Kevin, for sharing your insights.
Hello, my name is Dirk Torfs. I will discuss about the impact of digitalization on the manufacturing industry, and I'm leading a research center in Flanders. So the impact today and the trends which are governing this industry are based on three main trends, being the smart connected products and production systems. Secondly, we need to make our products in a small batches, so means customized products, but also produce them in a very particular way that the costs are not exceeding those of the series production. And third one is also that sustainability for us is also a human-machine environment on production. So this means that we are doing the research in order to strengthen the competitiveness of the industry and make sure that we can continue to export as a region as much as possible. We work together with the industry in order to make sure that we have the right strategy, but also deliver on the long-term trends and the needs they have for creating their products and production systems. Today, if you look to digitalization, this is very important for this industry, because without digitalization, there is no future. And this means that they can not only work on the sustainable development goals, but they should also look at many aspects related to Industry 4.0 battle arena. If you look to products and production, that's just only one part of the piece. So today, we see that people are enabling this environment and making sure that technology is used in the company. The company culture is also very important, because the more they interact between each other, the less they have silos in between, the more and the stronger the digitalization will have an impact on the environment. And last but not least, also the business model is very crucial in looking into the future and using digitalization for upgrading their business models, because new business models are appearing and can be used in order to make sure that they have a profitable business and also create more and more impact. If you look today, then of course, to make transformation simple, we have a framework where you have different levels of transformation. Before, let's say in the Industry 3.0 timeframe, we connected and made sure that computers have been introduced in companies. But now in the Industry 4.0 area, you see that we need to create visibility. So this means sensors should be added, that we know what is going on in the factory. Having these sensors, you can create transparency. Transparency means that what is happening is visible to everybody. Once you have this transparency, you can also create a predictive capacity. And this means that you can use the sensor to know not only what will happen, but also be prepared for the future. So to create a context and then also do something with it. And finally, we have the level of adaptability. So this means that we adapt to the environment. A car, if it adapts to the environment, it can start to run autonomously. And so this means that if you want to make sure that you are effective and creating the business for this environment, you have to work at different areas, not only for the organization, but also the culture. But on the other hand, technology is important, and also information. Information system, IT system, OT systems, this is very crucial for this transformation. Last year, we did a survey, and we compared it also to before, and then we saw that companies, they claim that the digital shop floor, so meaning transparency on the shop floor, is very important for them, as well as creating new ways of product development. This is about virtualization, this is about digital twins. And secondly, we also see that people and the culture in the company are very important to make sure that this is happening and is also effective. Having a post-COVID survey, we see even that culture is even more important than the people. Just a few examples. If everybody is talking about actionable intelligence, it means that we create, based on the data we have, insights into the systems, and also use the knowledge in order to make sure that we can take appropriate decisions which are predictable, but also which are predictable in the effect they create. And in that way, we create a lot of value. For instance, if we have to do some leakage detection of bottles, we can start predicting what is going on based on the first sensor signals, and then very quickly decide whether there is a leakage, yes or no. So this helps. So this artificial intelligence helped us to speed up the system, to test more bottles, so to create effectiveness, but also productivity. Another example is for machines. If you want to detect a machine, a failure of a machine, then bearings are one of the main components for failure. So the sooner you can detect it, the more time you have to repair it, to execute the maintenance. So we have developed some algorithms which allows us to predict 3 weeks before a failure that a failure is happening. This can also be extended to multiple machines. So if you have a weaving machine, it's placed in India, in China, in Europe, in the US. So we can learn from all these machines, and we are setting up systems, platforms, which allows us to really make the difference and to learn from each other, and then use this information to optimize all the different machines which are in different places in the environment. If we look to data, Data is the new gold. So we see that we need, in order to do all of this, we need, first of all, a safe, secure environment, a platform which allows us to work, to connect companies, to connect research institutes, and they can, of course, then store data. Storing data means that we can analyze the data, as we have seen before. But for this data and the analysis, we need tool chains. Also, these platforms also enable us to have common tool chains, which is important if you start to collaborate, and collaboration can speed up the impact of your innovation. And last but not least, having this common environment, you can, of course, do the same things over and over again in a similar way, and then you can also increase the learning from this, this analysis. So digital twins are very important, so because we will create not only the physical product, but also a digital product. And there, all the different steps are needed in order to make this possible. If you apply it to a digital twin, you see here a complex environment which we will create together with Proximus, where people will allow to connect, to analyze data, and then to use something with the data. And this is what we call actionable intelligence for the products, not only for today, for tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. And this allows us to use products in a different way, in a smarter way, and also to make sure that we can use products as a service. So to conclude this presentation, I have 3 takeaways. First of all, when adopting Industry 4.0, you need to be fast in order to make sure that it's effective. And for that, you need very strong partnerships within an ecosystem where you connect companies, but also research institutes. Secondly, if you want to make the best out of the business for the transformation, you also need to rethink your business model. And X as a service, product as a service, production as a service could be a good idea to think about. And last, think about also the culture of your organization, because if you want to be future-proof, you need to have a digital culture where data and people are very transparent within the organization. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Dirk. What a great demonstration of how partnerships deliver added value. Really, too much is happening today to be able to do it all by yourself. And that's why we are having another strong example of a win-win partnership. Let's now welcome Jan, Business Unit Lead at Unitron Connect, and he will tell us his story about applying IoT in the recycling industry.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be able to introduce you the next use case, in which we will shed some light on how digitalization can have an impact on the recycling industry. Unfortunately, my co-presenter, Nele Peters, from our partner Bebat, could not join the session as she has taken ill. I'd like to wish her all the best and a speedy recovery. I'm sure the company Bebat does not require much of an introduction. Thanks to their clear and warm communication strategy, Bebat has been extremely successful in creating awareness around the importance of recycling batteries. In 2019, they successfully launched a campaign called Een klein gebaar, a small gesture, showing that if each of us makes a contribution, no matter how small, we can achieve great results together.
Een klein gebaar kan een groot verschil maken. Maak zelf ook het verschil met een klein gebaar voor de natuur. Breng al je gebruikte batterijen binnen. Je vindt een inzamelpunt in je buurt op bebat.be. Bebat. Samen recycleren, beter voor de natuur.
Bebat's mission is to have a positive impact on our environment by collecting, sorting, and ensuring the recycling process of batteries. Every day we work for a better environment by collecting ever more and spend batteries, and by recycling them ever better. Ever is an important word here. At Bebat, they always try to collect more batteries, looking for the latest recycling technologies to regain more materials in recycling. We'll see some of that result of that mission in a few slides. Making the collection and recycling process as simple and efficient as possible is core to their strategy. I'm sure you have come across one of their collection points in our shops, schools, companies, supermarkets, and recycling parks. There are over 23,000 of them. That's one for each 500 inhabitants in Belgium, making it as easy as possible for all of us to recycle batteries free of charge. Bebot also looks towards technology to help them achieve the simplicity and efficiency. One of their initiatives is the centerpiece of this presentation. Some impressive figures are on the slides. Let's zoom in on a couple of them, showcasing the success of Bebot's strategy. They were founded in 1995 by combining some of the battery manufacturers. No less than 3,600 tons of discarded batteries were collected in 2019, an increase of 13% compared to 2018. The collection rate for portable batteries has risen by almost 6%, and the collection efficiency has reached over 90%, which is far above the target set by the European and Belgian authorities. Since its foundation 25 years ago, Bebot has become the absolute global leader in Belgium recycling, and one of the organizations we can truly be proud of. In 2016, Bebot already rolled out 1,200 smart IoT displays, enabling to reduce the annual number of collections by over 25%. That's 25% less trucks on the road. Now, with the amount and the types, the sizes, the power rates of batteries ever increasing, Bebot has decided to take digitalization to the next level. The plan is to have all of the collection points acting as self-functioning modules, all connected toward the cloud platform, gathering more data, statistics throughout the complete value chain, in order to further improve efficiency and safety throughout the collection process. To achieve this goal and to carry out this digitalization project, Bebot has selected 5 industry leaders in innovation and technology. Before spending more time on Unitron Connect, I will first introduce the other partners. Parts Pro Toto is Bebot's design and innovation agency since many years. They've been instrumental in some of the key activities at Bebot and their innovations. They are an invaluable partner to Bebot. Be Brave, by way of Jeroen de Serrano, is overseeing the project specification, standardization, and is helping coordinating the overall. Little Miss Robot by Wouter van de Zeepe is then ensuring the correct integration with Bebot's back-end logistics processes. And of course, last but not least, Proximus has been selected as the partner of choice, ensuring connectivity throughout the Belgian territory. In this project, we worked very closely together with Delphine Oliveira and Ton Klaarboot and his team. So how does the solution really look like? The solution starts with the Bebot display. The Bebot display will be replaced by the new IoT-connected displays. They measure filling degree and also filling rate. Temperature is measured as well as temperature rate. The battery status is also collected, and the unit itself will be aware of its own status. Alert and alarm modes will be powered by the unit itself. All data is then connected through the cloud, through the narrowband and LTE network from Proximus. The database management will be handled by the uCloud. Device management, configuration, device settings, as well as the firmware upgrade possibilities. All of that information is provided toward the Bebot logistics backend in order to ensure and improve collection demand and route optimization. This new 2.0 solution will be smarter, significantly smaller, and will enable us to measure key safety aspects using state-of-the-art technology. They were designed to be future-proof, and we're all very proud that this could be realized in partnership with innovative industry leaders from Belgium. As for the future-proofness, we can add track and trace integration, future safety optimizations, as well as anti-theft features. Also, more sensors can be integrated. This new solution will be a quadruple win to Bebot. They will allow to improve transportation of collection points, to plan them better, pick up the units when they're really full, but not too full, and giving a better service to the collection points. To reduce the overall impact, because we can only pick up collections, units that are full, and make a more efficient routing. In other words, less kilometers driven, and a huge win on CO2. Also, the cost structure will be reduced substantially, and we're able to allow monitoring of certain safety aspects. Now, talking for Unitron Connect, working with Bebat was a real joy. Not only do we share some core values, such as green energy and supporting circular economy, we also work in a similar way. We combine state-of-the-art technology through research and testing programs with design for manufacturing. The solution Bebat has presented here has greatly evolved since the start of our collaboration. At Unitron, we value partnerships in which we truly can join forces and combine our complementary expertise. This was very much the case as well here. Learning more about Bebat's future plans, we just moving from a single solution to a more platform solution, which allows for easy integration, add-on of microelectronics and connectivity. This allows a single design to serve our customer for at least next 10 years. Unitron Connect is part of Unitron Group, a family-owned business that has branched out internationally over the last 35 years. We serve customers in over 70 countries, 120 employees, including 35 engineers, focusing on state-of-the-art electronics design and manufacturing. Our core expertise lies in wireless communication, sensor integration, and design for manufacturing. Partnerships are key, as collaborating with knowledge partners and industry leaders allows us to come up with solutions that serve our customers. We have facilities in Belgium, the Czech Republic, US, Hong Kong, and a long-standing partnership in China for over 20 years. We truly believe that digitalization, increasingly collecting and using data, has a direct impact on our customers' business. At Unitron, we want to help our customers with innovative and flexible services, so they are able to reap the benefits of these trends and stay ahead of competition as much as possible. Efficiency and quality improvement, that is how, in most cases, we can help our customers. To provide these, we collaborate with reliable partners to provide purpose-built solutions that are highly innovative and robust and secure. That way, we not only bring the future into the everyday, but we also ensure that our customers stay ahead of innovation in the coming years. We provide stepping stones in their digital journey.
At Unitron Connect, we strongly believe we can make your products and processes more efficient, safe, and robust. We are a fast-growing, dynamic, and innovative organization, passionate about developing and producing purpose-built IoT hardware. Unitron Connect is part of the Unitron Group, a Belgium-based international electronics manufacturer that has been active for over 35 years. Our flexible team with more than 30 high-skilled engineers is specialized in connectivity engineering, sensor integration, and design for manufacturing. Your product will be produced and assembled in one of our manufacturing facilities. Our flexible and fully automated production always assures European product quality. Interested in how our purpose-built solutions can help you? Please visit our website or send us a message.
This concludes my presentation. Thanks for your attention. If there is any question, feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Jan. And it seems that today data are essential for any company. And that raises the question, what is the future of innovative solutions like IoT, data analytics, or 5G? After all these interesting customer stories, I think it's a good moment to zoom out and ask for the vision of Guillaume Boutin, CEO of Proximus. So please join me on stage, Guillaume. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, why is it important for Proximus to host this ThinkThings event?
Yes, this event is quite important for us. It's important for Proximus. It's important for the partners of Proximus. It's also important for innovation. I think we see that moment as a platform to really inspire each other and also to try to boost and stimulate innovation. And in those difficult moments, I think it's quite important to step back a little bit and to think about the day after tomorrow and to reinvent a little bit what will be the way we do business in the post-COVID world.
Okay, to look at the future. And how does this event compare to what's happening in other countries?
Always a good question. We all know that we are a little bit lagging behind in terms of digital adoption, but also in terms of gigabit infrastructure today in Belgium. So we need to catch up. That said, I think we have all the talent. I think we also have the opportunity with this crisis to bridge the gap in between where we are today and where we want to bring Belgium for the next years. So we really have to now start building that new ecosystem of networks, of data infrastructures, of innovative services to make sure that Belgium tomorrow is going to be one of the front runner in terms of innovation for Europe.
Okay, and what do you feel has changed compared to the last editions?
Obviously, we are in a quite different world, and we are really living a decisive moment for Belgium. And I think it's an opportunity to really rethink, reboot, and not restart the way we do businesses, the way we think about technology. So for me today, it's an exciting moment as well, because it's a moment of opportunities. Look at the network. Today we have 5G. Last year it was not the case. And 5G is starting to become a reality for consumers. You have the new iPhone that is running on the Proximus 5G network today. And 5G use cases for enterprises are today also emerging. So it's quite a new technology. We have fiber arriving also on the Belgian market. We're going to invest millions not millions, billions of euros to roll out that network. And that's also a new opportunity for development. And at the same time, we are also in a brand new world. Look at what happened in between Chinese and the US. Look at what happened between Chinese, Europe, and the US in terms of trade war and also technology challenges. And I think that today, with all what is happening on the road and the mega trends that you see happening today, that Europe has the opportunity to fight back and look at the Digital Act. This is, I think, the right moment for the European countries, but also for the Belgian economy, Belgian players, to fight back and to find the right place they deserve in terms of digital innovation and in the digital economy of tomorrow. So that's, for me, an exciting moment as well.
Okay, you were talking about 5G. Should we expect increasing focus on 5G?
That's 5G, just the beginning, and you really have to see 5G not as a better 4G. It's really a brand new technology, a brand and very superior technology as well, with the ability to create low latency network slices, so it enables Industry 4.0 in a much more monitored and secured way. So is that just the beginning of 5G? We'll massively invest as Proximus in the 5G development, but the most important thing, we need to invent the services that will go with 5G. So we saw some examples this morning with the VRT, with Industry 4.0, but we have a lot to invent together. That's why we have decided to launch a 5G innovation platform, so that we will regroup our expertise, but also our partners' expertise and our customers' expertise to make sure that we're going to build the future-proof 5G services of tomorrow.
Okay, next to the gigabit networks like fiber, like 5G, what are the other building blocks to our digital sovereignty or agenda?
First, it starts, as you said, with the foundation, which are the 5G and the fiber network. And as I said, we will invest billions of euros in the next 5 years to make sure that we are building this future-proof infrastructure for the economy. But it's not enough. As you mentioned, I think on top of that, we need to have a safe data infrastructure. And for that, we need to build our own, probably our own sovereign cloud, so to make sure that we can store locally, safely, securely the data, the critical data that we are using for the economy. And last but not least, we also need the talent, the digital talents amongst Belgium in order to invent, create the services of tomorrow around those new technologies.
Okay, so there's a huge acceleration going on. What will Proximus do to support this acceleration?
So first, building the network, that's so important. I will repeat, but this is a core focus for Proximus for the coming years, building those networks, those fiber networks, those 5G networks. That's quite important. Second, the platform for innovation. I mentioned it, creating the 5G innovation platform is going to be key to invent the services of tomorrow. And thirdly, probably, and we started doing so with the ICT accelerators, the galaxy of small enterprises that are working with us in order to create, invent the B2B services of tomorrow. That's one part, but also the way we look at the business of tomorrow, the way to do business tomorrow. I think we cannot do everything on our own. So we need to be much more importantly than before, create ecosystems of partners, ecosystems of players with the Google of this world, with the Microsoft of this world, to create the services of tomorrow. So it will be not Proximus alone, but an ecosystem of players, local players, hyperscalers, and of course, the accelerators of Proximus to invent and create the services of tomorrow.
Okay, we are right now in the COVID crisis. We heard several applications allowing use cases around behavior analysis, crowd management, safety in stores, etc. But what do you think will be the impact of the COVID pandemic on IoT and analytics?
COVID is going to change the way we live, the way we work, the way we travel. And it's true to say that we saw a massive acceleration of use cases around crowd management, remote solutions, data-driven decision-making. This is really feeding all the new use cases that we do see today. So that will definitely create a world of opportunities to build on that and to invent new services. So that's really where I'm going to see the change. But if you zoom out a little bit, and what COVID is also learning us is that technology for the sake of technology is not the word of tomorrow. I think we have to invent and use technology, create a new technology platform that will help also create a better society, a more sustainable society. Technology with purpose is something which is really the new situation post-COVID.
Okay, let's finish with the further future. We enter a smart era. Will it really change our lives?
I'm a strong believer that it will be a reset. The post-COVID era will be a reset, and also the fact that smart is going to be everywhere. And sometimes you see smart cities, a smart society in a sci-fi movie with flying cars or humanoid robots. We are not there, but still, we are starting to build that society. Drones are today a reality. Automated cars are today starting to be a reality in Europe in the next 3-4 years. So if you look at AI systems, data analytics to drive decisions, this is today a reality in a lot of businesses. So this will change our life. But also the way we do business. And we really have to see the smart societies as an opportunity. If you look at customer experience, it will be a great tool to boost customer experience, convenience, and the way also you serve your customers. That's one. Second, if you look at efficiencies, operational efficiency, data-driven operational efficiencies are going to be key if you want to lead tomorrow in your businesses. And to use these smart capabilities is going to be quite an important thing. And third, I think I'm always optimistic about the future. And I truly believe that those smart cities is a platform to build a better society. If you look at the combination of connected citizens, connected governments, and real-time monitoring of decision, then you have endless possibilities to make the world of tomorrow a better world, a more sustainable world, a more inclusive world, and it's my strong conviction. That's why I'm so optimistic about technologies.
Okay, optimistic. Thank you very much, Guillaume, for sharing your thoughts with us. And thank you all for attending this first part. So take your offline lunch now or take the time to visit the expo area. And you can have also a stroll there, just like at any other fair. Check it out, enjoy, and see you again on stage at 1 o'clock.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the morning sessions. This morning, we went through some very interesting customer testimonials. And now, I would like to take some moments to give you more visibility on the approach we develop for specific verticals and also for partnerships. These are two important pillars to really make a difference in a digital transformation. Digital transformation does not come as a standard block with the same recipes for each sector of the economy. For example, the challenges of a retailer are very different than the challenges of heavy industry and manufacturing, or the challenges of a construction sector to create smart buildings have few things to see with the challenges of the healthcare sector. That's why it is so crucial to develop a deep knowledge of the operating model of each economy sector in order to help in the best way. For this specific reason, at Proximus, we invest a lot of our time and energy in deepening our knowledge of some verticals, and in building also strong partnerships that allow to better serve our B2B customers in their digitalization challenges. Let's start with some insights on verticals. For the months to come, we decided to focus our attention on 3 verticals, which are manufacturing, retail, and smart building. Before explaining the reason of that choice, let me tell you that this does not mean at all that we cannot support the other verticals. All the contrary. Verticals like transport, logistics, energy are already very well served, amongst other by Proximus, with digital solutions like road user charging, advanced logistics systems, or smart meters. Now, our choice to focus on these 3 verticals is linked to specific reasons. First, for the manufacturing sector, we are at a tipping point. The possibilities created by 5G technology and mobile private networks will allow to radically rethink the way we organize manufacturing and to create impressive efficiency gains thanks to digital factories. 5G, together with edge computing, will make new things possible for the manufacturing industry, things that were not possible only 1 or 2 years ago. Secondly, retail and events are 2 sectors that are heavily hit by the sanitary crisis. These sectors need to reinvent themselves to survive. They move to a new normal, which is a hybrid shopping model. Not only digital, not only physical, but a mix of both. And in the full journey of a buyer and its interaction with a retailer, we have a full set of digital solutions ready to help a retailer creating a wow and safe experience for the buyer. Finally, smart buildings are the answer to another major challenge, the climate change. For our own sake, for the sake of the planet, but also with the arrival of new regulations, buildings will have to become way more efficient in their energy consumption, space consumption, and modularity. The current crisis will drastically change the way we envision office work and office buildings. We are ready at Proximus with digital solutions to help in this transition, as we consistently invested in smart building solutions, relying as well on the strategic partnership between Proximus and BASIX. Now, this is the perfect transition, as it brings me to our next topic, strategic partnerships. I want to highlight 3 of these strategic partnerships today. Last year, at ThinkThings, we talked a lot about end-to-end capabilities and our capacity to support you from the blueprint of a project to the integration of the final solution in your systems. Through various projects over the year, we realized that we could further improve on these end-to-end capabilities. And we think that we should actually further improve for 2 main reasons. The first reason is that digital transformation is a strategic transformation, not an ICT-driven transformation. In that regard, we need to be able to help in redefining your strategy, not only implementing it. The second reason is that once the digital solution has been delivered, it's only the beginning of the transformation journey. What are the key takeaways to get from the data? How to integrate these insights and how to improve your daily business or the long-term strategy based on the ongoing digital transformations. These are critical questions that make the process fully iterative. That's the reason why we decided to create new capabilities that we call the Beyond Digital capabilities. And we decided not to do this alone, but to associate ourselves with a consulting company named CVA. Now, to talk about this new approach, let me welcome on stage Fernand Dimitstein, who is partner at CVA.
Thank you, Alex.
Hello, Fernand.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Fernand, in a few words, could you present yourself and present CVA?
So, thank you, Alex, for the invitation. So, my name is Fernand Dimitstein. I'm the partner of CVA Corporate Value Associate in Belgium. CVA is a global strategic company. We are present in about 16 countries in the US, in Europe, Middle East, and Asia. And in Belgium specifically, we are really focusing on innovation, digital transformation, and I would say corporate restructuring, which is unfortunately one of the big topics these days. We are genuinely convinced that the link between the corporates and the world of the startups is something which is really key to help our customer, the big corporations, to really grasp new technologies and a new business model.
Thank you, Fernand. Could you explain in a few words how Proximus and CVA will collaborate?
Yeah, so we are going to collaborate around the delivery of end-to-end solutions in the world of the IoT, connected objects, and the NGC. And typically in that kind of projects, it's 3 phases. It's the thinking phases, the shaping phase, how you convince a company to go for transformation, and last but not least, of course, the delivery. So we believe that we are the good partners to support Proximus in the sense that in the thinking phase, we will provide with key market insights that we have as a strategic company, and we will help the C-suite of your customers to navigate through some of the complexities of that kind of projects by really, I would say, handling innovation workshop. That's the first step. On the second step, it's really going through the leveraging of our consulting capabilities to really convince the client and Proximus on the best business model in terms of collaboration.
So in what areas do you think and believe we would be able to deliver together extra value to customers?
So actually the model that we have in mind it's called Beyond Digital Capabilities. We have in mind to build a kind of a venture studio with an venture studio is that we have core services which serves startups, basically. So here the idea is to say that we will build together the Beyond Digital Ventures, where at the core, we will centralize all our methodologies, frameworks that we use in strategic consulting to really shape the business model, the transformation of the company. Then there will be specific ventures. So you introduced before the smart commerce or the smart workplace, which will be the first 2 ventures where we will focus. And here, we are going to provide with specific expertise in these specific industries. So in the retail world, for instance, what's really hot these days is that we need to redefine the client experience in a, as you said, in a hybrid world between the physical and the digital.
And could you expose us in a few words how strategic consulting will support the technology and the technical solutions?
Yeah, so first on the technology, sometimes it's rather complex for the C-suite and for the customers to really grasp all these concepts. So I would say our cup of tea is really to translate into business terms what are the impact of these technologies on your core business and what you could do about this. So that's really the first thing that we would provide. Two is we're able to help you and your customers to articulate what's the expectation in terms of new client experience. For instance, going from a digital environment to a physical, you don't want to repeat all the time your data, for instance, to give again your data once you enter into a shop. So you want to have a smooth experience between the digital world and the physical. So that's really what we want to do, is really to link the solutions that Proximus has to provide in this specific domain with the digital strategy of the companies.
Thank you, Fernand, for the explanation. We are really thrilled and excited to start the collaboration and help customers in digitalization together. So, for the ones interested, there is a deep dive session this afternoon about smart retail with a CVA expert. Second partnership is about drones. Last year, we announced our participation in the Sapphire project, and we exhibited the possibility to transport blood bags and other health samples between two hospitals. This year, I'm really proud to announce that we just signed an agreement with Skydrone and Drone Matrix to facilitate the flight of drones in Belgium. The project will be an excellent playground to exhibit 5G capabilities. So Proximus will bring his expertise in mobile networks, system integration, data analytics. Skydrone, which is the subsidiary of Skies, formerly Belgo Control, will bring their competencies in aerial traffic management. And Drone Matrix is an innovative drone solution provider. They have solutions for research of bodies in case of disaster, security monitoring, event, coastal surveillance, and so on. They will bring their know-how in drone manufacturing and operation. The project consists in the development of an integrated platform. This platform will allow drones to fly over Belgium in a controlled and secured way. This platform will also automate and streamline the process for flight authorization requests. The platform will be very special as it will enable the flight of regular drones, but also the flights of fully automated drones operating beyond the visual line of sight. These type of drones can have a range of action over 100 kilometers. So for Belgium, it's already a lot. And they communicate, of course, via the mobile network. So for these drones, coverage, latency, and bandwidth are key. And 5G will bring a sustainable answer to these requirements. So if you want to discuss and learn more about the project or just have questions about it, please join our webinar this afternoon about 5G and MPN. You will be able to interact with us during the Q&A. Third important partnership is Microsoft. We partner with Microsoft to deliver premium cloud-based solution, and we have been honored to be Microsoft Country Partner of the Year in 2019 for innovative solutions. So we have set up a demo area at Microsoft Office where you can experience Proximus solutions as IoT, data analytics, but also blockchain, digital signage, and so on. The Azure platform is really the perfect platform to enable many of the solutions relying on these technologies. And I will now welcome Didier Onguena, who will bring us in the Azure sky of Brussels and a full journey across digital twins.
Thank you, Alex, and hi, everyone. Thank you, Proximus, for giving me the opportunity to present at your yearly ThinkThings event. In March, Proximus and Microsoft announced our strategic partnership with a broad range of new technologies being launched, including Azure Edge Zones, mobile private networking 5G, IoT for telco, and Azure for telco. Knowing that innovation is happening at a high pace, it is extremely important to have some of the Azure Edge scenarios in the network of the telcos with large backbones and high-speed fiber networks. In short, it is important to bring the Azure compute power and PaaS services as close as possible to our common end customers. Delay or latency will be the new currency for all innovations happening in the very near future, being in manufacturing, smart cities, retail, distribution, or healthcare. Delay and latency will be the decision maker to use Azure Edge Zones in combination with fiber networks and our public Azure cloud. I hope that some of you are gamers or flight simulator fans, because to illustrate the power of the digital twin and the value of the Microsoft platform as a service, we have used the latest Flight Simulator 2020, flying from Brussels Airport, where Microsoft has its offices, over to the Proximus Towers in the center of Brussels and back to Brussels Airport. We will illustrate in this flight the different Azure PaaS solutions and the possibilities of the Proximus accelerators integrations with a few examples. So let us have a look at the recorded flight and fasten your seatbelt. The first thing you notice in the game is that flights are taking part in an environment of live weather circumstances. I'm not showing this video to promote this really awesome game, but I'm showing it because the game is using the same Azure PaaS services that we use for innovation development based on maps. It is using a lot of data sources and platform components, such as the partnership Microsoft has with AccuWeather, to provide live weather data, as well as historical weather data from the past 20 years and weather forecast on any place, anywhere in the world. And you, as a developer, can also benefit from this partnership. So let's take off from the Microsoft premises near the Zaventem airport and take off for this flight to Brussels. Everything you see is based on the Azure Maps platform as a PaaS service for developers to build apps and geospatial solutions. Beside the weather data, the Azure Maps platform also delivers all points of interest and live traffic data via our partnership with TomTom, as well as data of all public transport live data, such as bus, train, and even shared bike data via our partnership with MoveIt, the world's largest public mobility platform with over 1 billion users globally. All this data is available as a service with geospatial visualization, just like this flight simulator game. As you can see, we're now approaching the Proximus Towers. Similar to outdoor maps, even for indoor maps, an indoor map creator is available, and in combination with the IoT suite and the Proximus Azure Edge Zones, you have all the building blocks to develop digital twins of your physical environment. You can build all kinds of applications, either through robust software development tools like Visual Studio and GitHub, or via what we call low-code, no-code tools. With the ultimate combination of, on the one hand, the Microsoft data and platform components, visualizations, and software development kits, and on the other hand, the Proximus Edge Zones and 5G, you can unlock any application. By adding algorithms, machine learning models, and deep learning, you can create full digital twin visualizations and visualize predictive models. An interesting use case of this is a smart stadium. You might have noticed we flew over the King Baudouin Stadium. With a combination of 5G, Edge, IoT, Azure Maps, and our indoor maps, and with the magic sauce of some algorithms and analytics, we can unlock all kinds of scenarios for multiple personas. For instance, security people can automate procedures with the highest accuracy. The processing of data and the calculations in the edge lead to more privacy. We can give visitors a much better experience by optimizing the flows. With digital twins, people flows, mobility scenarios, and even waiting lines for drinks during breaks can be optimized, modeled, and predicted. New business models can come to life. It is time now to land back at Brussels Airport. What you have seen is, on the one hand, the power of the Microsoft Azure platform and its many partners that provide PaaS services you can immediately leverage as a developer. And on the other hand, the power of Azure Edge computing, which is fully embedded in Proximus 5G and fiber, and which is playing a big role in the value and the efficacy of IoT solutions. The proven value of IoT applications is making it easier for decision makers to build buy-in across their organizations and implement even more IoT solutions. Companies who incorporated emerging technologies like edge computing, AI, and digital twins into their IoT solutions tended to find more benefits from IoT overall. As I mentioned in my opening, Azure Private Edge Zones could be used in all vertical segments, being in healthcare, manufacturing, smart cities, retail, to do a couple of things. Run private mobile networks like private LTE or private 5G. Implement security functions like firewalls. Extend your on-premises networks across multiple branches and Azure by using Proximus SD-WAN appliances on the same private edge zone appliances and manage them from Azure. We see these technologies already being used in a couple of places. Real-time command and control in robotics and manufacturing, drone inspections in large plants, in agriculture, in ports, machine vision, remote rendering for mixed reality, for instance in healthcare, and of course surveillance and security. Our partnership with Proximus also means that Proximus accelerators could handle the full managed service from the Azure Edge, mobile private networking 5G, IoT, AI, up to a secure connection to our public Azure cloud. This would be an end-to-end service including connectivity, IoT, AI, and development for common end customers. I hope you have seen that the future is really here and now. So think things with Microsoft and Proximus. Thank you so much.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed the breakouts, and we will tell you later on how you can share your opinion. But for now, let's discover how we can all contribute to a more digital Belgium. I would like to present you to Anne-Sophie Lotgering, Proximus Chief Enterprise Markets Officer. So, welcome, Anne-Sophie. First of all, how did you experience your first months at Proximus?
Well, first of all, hello, Hannah. Hello, everyone. I've joined Proximus exactly 4 months and 8 days ago, and it's been quite an adventure. I'm amazed to be given the responsibility of managing the enterprise business unit. And through the first 4 months, I've spent time meeting our customers, of course, our partners, the teams, my peers, and it's been an amazing experience. As you know, Proximus is transforming itself. We aim to provide Belgium with the optimal gigabit network. We also operate or want to operate as a digital native company, grow profitably with our partner and our ecosystem, and of course act sustainably in everything that we do. And I feel proud and privileged to be part of that adventure.
Wow, that's nice to hear, and I think that everybody is very curious to hear your vision. So, Anne-Sophie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, everyone, for attending our very first completely virtual edition of our yearly ThinkThings event. I hope you will have taken as much pleasure and insight out of it as it has been in previous years, a physical event. I'm very happy to see that we had many attendees. I hope each and every one of you feels inspired by the endless possibilities that innovative technologies bring to support every company's digital transformation. Let me start first by reiterating how 5G and mobile private networks can be used to unlock your company's digital transformation and empower your business strategies and possibilities. The combination of, on the one hand, increased speed with low latency, ultra reliability, and the ability to connect thousands of people and objects simultaneously will all allow for a fully connected digital future. And a higher efficiency of operations, cost savings, increased productivity of workforce, or the ability to launch new products faster. All these are some of the key benefits companies aim at when thinking about 5G. And as you've heard, we are already working with customers to trial and co-create with them on how 5G can enable their new business models. Such a use case is the work that we're doing with the police zone, West Coast. We are testing the use case of video surveillance on new drones and how these can guarantee safety during events and protests. Next to 5G, Proximus Azure services and edge computing are other enablers that can enable your business transformation. These technologies are a game changer. For innovations that need fast data processing, such as AI, 5G, and video analytics, it's better to combine cloud with edge infrastructure. With data being processed close to the data source, customers are able to run very complex and data-driven services right where they really need them. If I step in time a little bit, Sherlock Holmes had once said, "It is a capital mistake to theorize before one has data." And nothing is more true than that today. Indeed, to run their businesses effectively with insights needed from real-time data, data has become the most critical asset to a business today. And data enables, with the effective use of technologies, a number of use cases. The first one is smart retail. Data enables smart retail, enabling retailers to stay relevant in these really unforeseen, challenging times. It provides better understanding of their customers. It evaluates and benchmarks their location. You know, is my shop, for example, in the right place? Is my shop design optimal? It also enables us to optimize marketing campaigns and also track how many people are currently present in the store through entrance monitoring technology. Data also enables Industry 4.0, as it enables the move towards the always-on, smart, connected, and secure infrastructure by applying asset monitoring and PaaS to improve operations productivity. An example of what we're doing with our customers already comes to mind. With BASF, we are working with them on smart badges devices with contact tracing and a buzzer to prevent exposure risks, reduce virus spread, and guarantee business continuity. Corrosion monitoring to reduce inspection costs, repairs, and replacements such as safety risks are also put in place. Another use case enabled by data is the next generation of healthcare real-time care and digital health. Indeed, the combination of data, IoT, applications, and collaboration tools allow to improve care at hospitals and at retirement homes. Two use cases here come to mind to illustrate this, and they're both in co-collaboration with the ISPPC, l'Intercommunal de Santé Publique du Pays de Charleroi. One is asset tracking of blood bags during transport by constantly monitoring the temperature and transmitting the data every 10 minutes gives a possibility to act faster if an issue is detected. The second project is based on how heart patients use an application to monitor their own health, heart failure monitoring. The ability to basically be able to spot danger much faster and provide treatment more effectively. Another use case enabled by data is smart energy. This is another setting where real-time data, IoT, and artificial intelligence, or even digital twinning, will become indispensable in the building industry. Artificial intelligence, for example, can provide critical information as to the temperature of the building, the quality of that temperature, what lighting there is, the occupation of desks and meeting rooms, and even the energy use. enabling better comfort of the building in the buildings, or better comfort of the people in the building, or to save costs and become more energy efficient. Data can also contribute to improving safety and visitor experience. This is related to smart buildings. The hospitality aspect can also be taken into account. IoT intelligence can help make the journey of visitors a lot more enjoyable, increasing safety and security, and of course also increasing operational efficiency. And finally, data analytics can monitor crowds during COVID-19 pandemic. By providing real-time crowd management dashboards, we are able to give an accurate picture of how many people are present at a given location at any given time. This helping to monitor crowds and to anticipate matters of security and mobility in real time. We've been trialing use cases either on real-time monitoring at the Belgian coast, on opening of shops Rue Neuve, Bruxelles after the early lockdown, or for Tour of Flanders 2019. And now that we have collectively moved forward to a digital way of working and living, digital interactions are the only way to stay closer to our customers and our employees and be as relevant with them as possible. The only way that customers can keep up with increasing customer and employee expectations regarding interactions is by combining communications with intelligence. Thanks to voice bots and chatbots, we can process frequently asked questions in a very efficient way, always giving the same consistent answer to a question and always reachable 24/7. With the right innovative technologies responding to your business requirements, we can take your business to the next level and take advantage of their enormous potential. And we would like to be there on this journey with you every step of the way to help you become the cloud and digital enabled, end-to-end secure, data-driven company. We have an extensive ecosystem of complementary ICT affiliates and a growing ecosystem of 250 application services providers. Furthermore, we are investing in the future connectivity infrastructure to enable the exponential use of video and cloud solutions by investing in our future connectivity infrastructure, such as 5G and fiber, to enable new innovations. We believe we can, together, unlock the power of technology for you. And hopefully, we've been able to demonstrate that in this year's edition of ThinkThings. Thank you very much for joining us.
Proximus. Think possible.